All right, so welcome to another ep of the Barncast. I'm joined this week by One Absolute, aka Matt, out of I believe Georgia. We've just had a chance to catch a priority roll between Jekara, and I'm just going to call him Sandwich for short. But a Shadowland Daredevil team on one side with a Thor, a Shadowland Daredevil team with a ability to switch into Cabal under Malekith, also with a Kingpin leadership. Hey, thanks for joining me. Would you prefer One Absolute or Matt?
Either way, it doesn't matter. I answer to both.
All right.
Like,
Well, then
so
we'll go with one.
one's fine. Looks like Toby claimed priority, and we got research station and gamma, so we're in for a bloodbath.
This is, oh boy, going to be super interesting because, I mean, these are both very violent teams. Um, and I don't know, I think even at this low of a threat level, I don't know how you pass on having a Malekith out there. Um,
Yeah, we don't know which threat they chose though yet. I mean, but 15 or 16. I've done some testing games with my list that has Malekith in it, and I've been playing him like 15 and 14, and he just wrecks face on that low threat.
yeah, I mean, we had actually played a game the other day where he had just put in a bunch of work, and it was even on a C shape where he was bouncing around two sides of the board. I think you were only three wide, and I was five
Yeah, I
wide
think
with
we
the Guardians
yeah I
team.
think yeah I think we played on sword, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I only took I think Ultron, Mystique, and Mal, and just wrecked this Guardian's face.
It was not a good time. He just had like hot dice. I mean, on the other side of things, I've seen what happens when Mal doesn't have average to above average dice, and it can get a little
Better,
bit messy.
but the better question is when does Mal not? Because I mean that skull ability that just makes his die so consistent.
There was a pretty good game that was on yesterday. Played at 20 threat with a total of 8 models on the board between Hyper Viper and Finger Guns from Rogue Agents. And I got to tell you, Mal's attack dice were not that exceptional. I mean, he was still getting 3 to 4 hits, but that's really not what you want to see out of your Malekith, especially when there are 2 Hulks on the board coming back at you.
Yeah, two Hulks are they're hard for anybody to deal with, honestly.
Yeah, especially when they're able to kind of really zero in on that one model. So, um,
Yeah, I think I started watching that game right when they were closing it up. I'm like, well, I missed all of it.
yeah. So I still think there's a very strong possibility we see a Malekith out here. I'm not precisely sure, obviously, what threat level these gentlemen have chosen. But again, really strong possibility of a major bloodbath here. A couple of things that I think we might be able to expect out of these guys from a roster standpoint. So I think we'll start with the easier one of the two, which would be the Malekith side. So that's going to take up 7 threat right there. And boy, I mean, how do you construct a roster off of that? Is really the question.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Malekith. I mean, does he try to stay with the Shadowlands theme though? That way, he gets more consistent dice. So that means he would need Shadowlands. That's another 4.
Yep, that's
Brings him
11.
to, brings him to 11. So he leaves him with 4 to 5 to mess with. So I mean, if it's 5, then he's got Bullseye and Hood. Make sure he has, or Bullseye, yeah, Bullseye and Hood to make sure he has the leadership.
Yeah, and on the other side, it's really only Shadowland Daredevil. There is a Thor present, but Thor is not going to be able to contribute to a leadership. So we got our first roster
Well,
reveal.
he could. I mean, he could go Taskmaster, Winter Soldier, like affiliated.
Our first roster reveal over here was actually SandwichToby. There is no Malekith. He's going Kingpin, Shadowlands Daredevil, Juggernaut, and Bullseye. I am hard pressed to guess which of the two
I,
leaderships we're seeing.
I'm very interested to see how Jakara's list comes out, though. It's Shadowlands Daredevil, Taskmaster, Thor, and Craven.
This is really interesting. So on Jakara's side for cards, we've got Sacrifice, Cruel Tutelage, All According to Plan, of course, Follow Me, and Brace for Impact. So those two cards right there, All According to Plan and Follow Me, real priority theft shenanigans there. So on Sandwich's side, we've got Warpath, All According to Plan, Patch Up, Indomitable, and Do You Know Who I Am? So taking a look at this from an early onset, if I'm going to say that I would prefer one of the two rosters over the other under these settings and circumstances, I'm going to have to say I'm a Jekara doubter. I
was
don't
actually
know.
going to lean towards his, actually.
Oh, you like that Craven out there, I bet.
Well, I mean, the Thor include is nice because
Mm-hmm.
Thor does like rerolls because that's one of his
Yep.
biggest downfalls.
Yep.
Nice. As long as he can keep SandwichToby on one of these points to get that reroll going.
See, I think the one of the biggest things, there are two differences here in the cards and on the tactics side is, one, Do You Know Who I Am? I think could pay some really big dividends, especially with a Taskmaster out there who can just be pretty much removed for a turn. Plus, Indomitable, I think, is going to be a big deal in this game as well. Because Jekara isn't really bringing much in the way of displacement. It's only really Thor and his strongest Avenger throw. So you shut that down for one round, and I think you're in business.
Well, he also has to throw off his builder if he rolls a wild. He has to throw, and he has a stagger off his charge. So, I mean, he got some ways to help control the other side a little bit himself. With Thor
On the flip
Craven's,
side, Kingpin
Craven
comes in.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, Craven's going to add some extra dice, too, to help these other guys more consistent as well with his tracker.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually Expert Tracker. That's correct, I believe. We were talking about Craven prior to this matchup and saying, liking the inclusion there. I know you're a big painting guy, and I had a chance to show off your Craven yesterday, and that was just a really nice looking model. He did a really good job of shading the abs. I really liked that. But almost, Farmer as well is super muscled out Spider-Man with the shading. Also good stuff, right? But more importantly with these models, as far as I'm concerned, is what it is that they actually do on the table. And I really think he's got a pretty good kit. He can be highly mobile. He might be able to do some pretty sneaky things here on Gamma.
Yeah. Gamma, I hate it and love it right now. I'm using it in my current roster, but it's such a fast scoring crisis if you let it slip away from you.
Yeah, it absolutely can be. I think Gamma for me as a Guardians player is matchup dependent. I don't want to see Brotherhood on there, and I probably don't want to see Malekith. Other than that, I'm feeling okay-ish with it. Mostly because of my boy Ant-Man and him just being a Gamma all-star.
See, last time I took my Guardians on Gamma, I took the Space Maw, and him and Ghost Rider just deleted a Hulk on top turn 2. So
yeah, and that's what I was kind of saying. It's like Brotherhood's hard to delete, so and if you give him the chance to be in the center of the board, it's just it's nightmare fuel for me. Especially because I don't believe in Brace for some reason. We likes to eat the collision damage.
Brace is good. I mean, there's a reason why it's the most taken restricted card. I mean, dodging 5 to 6 incoming direct hits is sometimes clutch.
Yeah, and a lot of people will sit out there and they'll correctly say, like, I know exactly what I'm going to get out of Brace every time that I use it. So we've got Kingpin moving up. I want it, up dead center of the board really early. He's got a lot of confidence. Yeah,
Kingpin's leadership. Then
I would absolutely think so. Just based on how aggressively he's going to be playing some of these scenario here in the center. And a double move from the hand ninjas.
That's interesting.
Not exactly sure. This is kind of one of those things about not having a pivot back off of Daredevil. Uh, what are they going to be contributing to this game? You don't have the extract shenanigans. And if you're, in this, there isn't really any negative to getting them off the board constantly, other than just wasting an action to do it potentially.
Maybe he's just send him up there as bait, or he's probably send him up there to block.
It looks like a body block scenario for Juggernaut.
Daredevil's just, and Jakara's Daredevil's just going to meet as a nemesis Kingpin in the center.
Actually, I take that back. I think hand ninjas can contest the researcher. Yeah, so they can contest the researcher.
Interesting. I've not played researcher that much.
Yeah, they can. It just says they cannot contest secures, so they can contest an extract.
It is an extract.
So that might be part of the appeal here. I don't see how they remain on the board past this right now. But we'll see. I'll check in on the folks here in chat. I was worried that I might have got this promoted a little bit late.
Seems like everybody just wants to be on top of that researcher.
Well, yeah, more importantly, I think you'd identified it with the body blocking of Juggernaut there. But, just get rid of him.
I mean, if he really wants to, he'll still get there, honestly.
Yeah.
Juggernaut. Gets a baton throw?
Yeah, so he's going to use the baton throw to just end up squaring up onto that point off the ninjas. But if they get taken off the board first, he can't do it.
Yeah,
so
looks like
that's 4 damage, and they're off, so you can't place off of it. Oh, excuse me, that's not a place, that's just a pursuit, right? Yep, before damage is dealt. So, good to go.
Yep. Yeah, you're still able to get that off. It's not like a place from
he didn't quite, I think, make all the distance that maybe he thought or hoped he might be able to. But either way, he's winning that center point currently. And he's going to win that center point regardless, unless... he's going to win that center point regardless of what happens. So it looks like a hammer throw.
Plan for turn 2.
Yeah.
So you can afford to lose researcher once, but you really can't lose it.
Yeah, especially early in the game. Once that thing moves twice, you can end up in a real downhill battle. And especially on Gamma, it can get 100% out of hand real fast. So this looks like an attack into Shadowland Daredevil?
It looks like Kingpin.
Yep, okay, good call.
Yeah, he's just going to take one. But shocking him, that's going to be pretty big.
Well, damage isn't really Kingpin's game. So if he's actually going in there and attacking Kingpin, does this make you kind of wonder that we might have both guys on the Shadowland Daredevil leadership?
That makes me think more that he's on the Kingpin plan myself.
Yeah, okay. One of the fun things about these streams, having to speculate these rare occasions when you get 2 affiliated models out there and affiliated leaders.
Now I see Juggernaut just moving up. Still needs that power for that move though. Why does Juggernaut have 0? Actually, why is all his... Never mind, I'm reading the wrong thing. But he does have 0 power for some reason.
He may have spent... Well, it looks like he's sitting on 1. He does have 0. So he spent for Do you know who I? Not do you know I am, but nothing stops a Juggernaut. It looks like.
Okay.
Now he's going for an attack. So Jugs did get his push.
Yep, just a while. He's only doing, 2 damage. That's not bad. But getting somebody pushed off that point, though, is pretty key.
Well, I mean, if you're Jekara, you've already lost that point.
Yeah, so I wouldn't
so
worry
it's
too bad about it this turn. Like I said, you gotta have a game plan for next.
Ooh, does he clear that? Okay, I guess Jakara's going to give it to him. That push past Taskmaster looked a little bit closer than I had thought. All
That
right.
might be direct. It was pretty clear. I'm like directly over myself. What's he gonna do with Craven is the question.
Some major heroics here. Yeah, he did leave Bullseye on his back line, so.
Gonna throw attack at Juggernaut, looks like.
Yeah, I don't know that he's going to accomplish much here, more than likely.
Well, right now he's getting 2 through, and he's got 2 rerolls.
Yep, and Juggernaut does have power, so he can afford to reduce that. But he's going to roll right there in case anybody's wondering about the 2 rerolls. That's a reroll due to an innate power off of Craven and the leadership. But that's going to stay with 2 coming through. We'll see if Juggernaut reduces for a 1.
Yeah, that power's the elixir of Calypso. For Craven's singular reroll, you can do that on attack or defense.
Yeah, and here's the thing that I just really like about the Craven play here, potentially on these sort of crises, is he does have some movement shenanigans to him.
Yeah, he's similar to Gwen in that aspect because if he moved beforehand, then he can move after he does his first attack, Kukri Strike.
Yeah, and if he's able to double up on those, getting the dice added and all this other stuff, pretty cool guy in my opinion. Yep. So,
5-1. That's a
that's
pretty big lead. Round 1.
as you'd kind of identified. This can be a really fast-scoring affair, and probably why we saw that Kingpin leadership come out there. He's got some real beef on that side of the board, and a little bit more serious amounts of displacement. So this should be really interesting because I think he's going to be hard pressed to trying to keep Juggernaut off that back line point.
I don't know. I think Juggernaut becomes a wrecking ball right now on this next turn, as long as he doesn't take out Thor, because I think Thor's is going to come in there and start throwing Juggernaut around.
Hey, just do you know who I am, Juggernaut or Thor?
Thor's back. He'll come back.
He'll come back. Might take him a while.
I'll just move it straight back.
Well, I mean, why not under the Kingpin leadership? I mean,
Well, Jugs is getting right up there, isn't he?
looks like he might have body blocked himself out of that back line a little bit with that push of Shadowlands.
Yeah, but if he really wants to, he's attacks Thor or Daredevil, pushes one of them, potentially throws the other one, and then nothing stops Juggernaut to the point.
Let's see how he decides he wants to do this.
It's like he's going into. Oh well, I don't know which one.
That
Both have.
looks, yeah, it could be either or.
Here's a typical Juggernaut roll.
I was just gonna say, yep. So it's gonna get 1 through onto looks like Shadowlands or no Thor. Let's double check that.
I think it was Thor.
Give me 1 second. Yep, it was Thor.
It was Thor. Yeah.
Now old Juggy's got to make some more decisions here. Yeah, if you're the Juggernaut going in on that, you'd probably want a little bit more. Might set up a few more things. He's throwing out 4 dice. What do we got here?
Yeah, so I wonder what's going on. West Juggernaut's already done, but hey, is it marked it yet?
That might be the case. Looks like Craven's measuring out. So it looks like he just kind of forgot the activated token on Juggernaut. No big deal. So we've got Craven going into Kingpin.
Yeah, he also dropped Expert Tracker on Kingpin beforehand. So he gets that extra dice.
It is a very big roll for Craven. We've only got 1 block so far for Kingpin. We're going to see some Shadowlands and Craven re-rolls.
Or if he's doing the Spear Thrust first.
So he can set up for the big attack to follow it.
Well, the Spear Thrust is the bigger one. That's why I'm wondering. It's been a while since I used Crave myself.
Because if you do the Kukri and then do a Spear Thrust, it gives you a bunch more dice, right?
Yeah, it gives you 3 more dice. And then, yeah, so I wonder why I rolled 6. Well, it might have been the crit, so I rolled 7 total. No, the Kukri Strike is 5 dice, so that would have been 6.
Yeah,
so he's
so
doing
Kukri followed up by Spear Thrust, more than likely.
Yep.
And then he'll get some movement off that Spear Thrust, correct?
Well, he could technically move off the Kukri Strike.
Because he's got the Elusive already. And you'll get even more movement off the Kukri Strike if he advances, or off the Spear Thrust if he advances now.
Yeah, so I mean, he doesn't.
Yeah, he's going Spear Thrust.
He probably doesn't need to, but because Craven's not the most defensive guy out there.
Oh my, Craven.
He woke up and chose violence.
He's got 5 hits through there. 2 blocks for Kingpin so far. We've got 2 rerolls coming in for Craven.
Makes it another one, so he's got 6 total hits.
So yeah, that's 6 on 2 reducing. He's still going to take 3.
Yep, that'll be enough.
And that's going to be enough to actually put down Kingpin. Wow. All right, Craven. That's pretty interesting, buddy.
Now the question is, do you throw out a Corner of the Beast on the other beast, hit the other Shadowland Daredevil, so he takes damage when he moves? That's the question.
I'd almost be more tempted to put that on to... Actually, no, I'd save it up for Expert Tracker again next round. Just try to go ham into those folks, and then maybe you could use them as a battery for all according to plan as well.
He could use Expert Tracker again right now. It's not once per turn.
Well, sure, but I still think he's probably saving him up as a battery for next round. No need to burn off all that power.
Good for Craven, though, to go ahead and take out Kingpin.
That's going to be pretty devastating for that Kingpin leadership because, against a healthy character, you basically have erased it. So... He just counts like a regular person now. So very pivotal turn there for Craven. He did have the opportunity to advance him. I'm not sure why he didn't, elect to contest the center point. If he just cedes that, there's a good chance he's going to be down another 5 points here. I know that you maybe don't want to be in range to get hit twice, but You do have to acknowledge the point scoring that's about to be occurring right now.
I mean, if I probably would move Craven in between the middle gamut and the researcher to help body block.
Yep.
And his base would be pretty close to being able to score or count for both.
So we got the hand ninjas coming in and hitting for 3, and no blocks for Jekara.
I'm assuming that was into Thor. Poor Thor.
That's wild. I had a game the other day with the hand ninjas that they were just going off to a stupid degree. I mean, they were averaging like 4 hits or per roll. It was pretty glorious. Weren't necessarily getting in 4 damage, but they attacked all game, got in 4 hits every time. So. Oh, we're getting a remeasure there.
I would say, who's that going into? Because I would say I don't see any damage added into anybody. That's a bit more believable for some hand ninjas. That's only 2.
Well, I mean, he shouldn't be having to. Is he saying he didn't have range on Thor? Because that looks more than good to me. Oh, Shadowland Daredevil.
This is Daredevil going to the Craven now.
Yep. Okay, good.
But still, who rolled the 4 defensive dice and didn't block like any? They didn't get damage added.
Was it Shadowlands? And did he have a bunch of blanks?
I don't remember now.
See, there's terrible commentary, bro. We're awful.
I know, right? Well, it's my first time. It is my first time.
All right. So Jekara's got a number of blanks going out there. And blocks. So if this is into Shadowlands or...
no, I think it was in Craven again because there was
Craven
a reroll.
should be somewhat okay.
Looks like we're good. Jekara's Shadowlands going now.
I just get the feeling that Taskmaster is going to end up doing something quite evil.
I haven't seen Taskmaster on the table in a while myself, but every time I've faced him, he's usually been a menace where I can't get rid of him.
All right, so chat to the rescue. Just advised that, it was into SLDD, and we were counting the blanks, so that's why we're not seeing that.
That makes more sense now.
So we have an attack into the hand ninja. That'll do it.
Yep, they're going to be gone.
And that is
he
summoned out his own.
No, I think he did the batons.
These guys are all about the baton strike. I thought he might have been within range for 2. But again, that's only 4 dice, so yeah.
Now, the one thing I'd be worried about now is from Toby is the out of activation Juggernaut just throwing somebody long away.
Yep, to be able to steal that researcher coming over.
Yep.
Looks like he's kind of recognizing that at the moment. It's like, maybe I don't want to abandon this back area. Alright, so it looks like he's going to go with his builder attack. Or is it I want to say it a gainer? Nope, it's a builder.
Strike.
It's a coordinated strike. It's a builder. True builder.
Good job. Get those hand ninjas back out. Get them helping contest. test for that.
Bingo. We have a block there for Juggernaut. He has not rolled too well defensively. Got a reroll coming in for Shadowland. It's currently getting 1 through. Make it 2. We'll probably see a reduction here, so that'll get 1 out.
Yep. Just keep plinking away at him. That's what you usually gotta do with Juggernaut.
Yeah, but now we can pop another massive 4 dice attack into him. Go hand ninjas. Ooh, I like it. These guys are pointing out their attacks now.
That definitely helps a little.
That helps tremendously. All right. So we got a block there again. Juggernaut a little bit on the lighter side.
Yeah, just taking one
one
again. Unless he nice punches it. Sometimes I guess he did nice punch it.
He shouldn't need to. He's just taking 1 regardless. Just
well, nice punch can just hit the 0, but
yeah, I don't know if he wants to waste the. Well, it looks like he did. Yeah, kept it at 0. So
yeah, I guess he's still at 2.
I don't know, Bullseye.
You're pretty safe back there.
You're gonna pop up, hit and run somebody, and go back. I hope.
That's almost a move I would like to send with Craven after he got that elusive stayed in range 2 of a Kingpin to get the Spear Thrust and then move back to that backgammon.
Well, that's what I was saying as far as the movement off of him. But he just kind of elected to hang around. Okay, so Bullseye has opted to kill the hand ninja. Unfortunately,
I'll just do 1 to him.
Yeah.
I guess he chose better and now he's moving back. Well, how can he move back?
So it was a hit and run.
Oh, yep.
So he's just elected not to put the damage on him, it looks like, because he's gained the power instead. And the hand ninjas are on 0. Well, nice try, Bullseye. I like the idea.
All right, Thor. Now's your time to shine.
Don't forget Taskmaster.
I don't see Taskmaster taking out Juggernaut.
Maybe you could say he might be up to the task. I believe in you, Taskmaster. Me and like 3% of the TTS community, or whatever that number is.
Maybe he's going to do the for Asgard hit Daredevil to give him the stagger for next turn. And then hopefully gets the
Well, it looks
power
like he's
back.
measuring out into Juggernaut. So, more than likely we'll see the for Asgard into
you don't really
Juggernaut.
need the stagger on. You don't need the stagger on Juggernaut. You can just get rid of it.
I think the idea might be to try to throw him off of that point or into Shadowland, but that's going to be a tough throw angle. But throw him off the
I don't
point.
think you're throwing him there, but yeah, you can definitely throw him off the point.
Kind of. That would actually potentially throw him into his gamma point, though. So I don't know. All right, so 1 block for Sandwich.
And only 2 successes for Thor. But he did get the wild.
Yep.
So.
And that's really probably all he was looking for. I don't know if we're kind of thinking about throwing him the way that we were, because if you throw him over towards Jekara's side of the table, that's going to put him on the gamma point.
Yeah, no, I would throw him. I would throw him as far towards that wind jet as possible. Oh, it wasn't the Daredevil.
Okay, well, still only 1 block.
But still, I like that play better because now he's staggered for next turn. Now you just try to smack Juggernaut, hope to get the wild or the extra power, and just throw him. That way it clears off this gamma for himself, clears Juggernaut off the researcher, as long as you don't push him back onto your own.
Do you think he's got enough angle to get him out of there if he hits his triggers?
Well, he got the wild again.
Oh boy. Juggernaut rolling 1 block, as has been his tradition this game.
Or with 2 again. That's the one that matters.
Yeah, I think he probably will have the angle to maybe get him. Yeah, it's going to be close. You just have to make sure he doesn't clip Taskmaster. Yeah. I mean, you gotta love that right there. It's just, yeah, you've got your throw. You know,
I think you like it not to.
Yeah. It's just probably didn't trust the angle enough.
I mean, it is close. I think you do have it though.
Yeah, if he goes to the kind of edge of the house there, that building, I do think he probably has it, but there is. I mean, it's probably too close to risk, and I don't think he can afford to give up that 3 points right now.
Well, I mean, you still got Taskmaster. He can move back and negate it. So,
well, unless Juggernaut uses, do you know who I am on him? Because he technically has a window for it right now. Because right now, that kind of worst case scenario that we're talking about is almost about to happen here.
yeah, but if he had thrown him, he probably would have been out of range for Do You Know Who I Am?
Oh, Juggernaut, yeah.
Especially throwing the.
Yep, there goes.
He definitely would have been out of range to throw Daredevil.
There goes Shadowland Daredevil. So he's going to force Taskmaster to just move on to it instead?
Yeah, but see, now the problem is now Jekara can't score it if Toby is playing Kingpin.
Yep.
Because they're just about to tie on the research.
That's really going to shut down the offensive firepower that Taskmaster is known for. Quite a crime, really.
I still think Jekara should have went with that throw, chanced it. If he had to, I think he would have got him out of range.
Yeah, I wonder if he gets both, huh? Maybe if he kind of finagles it a little bit closer to Jugs.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, he's already taken his movement tool, so technically he's done. But
he still has one more movement if he has to, right?
Correct. I don't know if that got both of them. I mean, he looks like he's good for the researcher, but I don't know about that back gamma.
Yeah, that back one's close. I think he's just out, just eyeballing it. But.
I mean, he does still have that movement action, and honestly, it's probably more valuable to go for the VP than the violence. Well, I dig this guy's style.
Choose violence. Well,
going into Juggernaut again.
Better block.
Juggernaut has decided to defend himself.
Oh.
Taskmaster has decided not to give a shit.
There you go, Taskmaster.
He is up to the task.
Can you get 7 hits on 5 dice? He sure can.
I told you about that Taskmaster. Y'all weren't believing me. But this is the world we live in.
But Jug still lives on 1, though. So
that's fine. Taskmaster literally did a round's worth of work for his entire team right there. Some Taskmaster heroics, folks. You gotta love it. So Juggernaut, being the crafty Juggernaut that he is going to use a tactics card that I'd thought about using for the first half of the season, and I don't think I ever used it in playtesting. But he is now going to advance back, and that little bit of wiggle room that Taskmaster gave him, he is appearing to want to take advantage of to use his big old fat base and sit on both those points. So he's going to score that back point. Ain't nothing that Taskmaster can do about that. And he's going to hold that researcher rate where it is and not allow that to be scored either. Crafty play there by Sandwich. Endy's going to have priority.
Yeah, but Jekara could steal priority if he wanted to.
That's true?
Well, no, he's one. No, he'll have it. He'll have to spend like all of his power. But
he could steal priority. And the weird thing about that, as far as the timing, is that Sandwich cannot take it back with his all according to plan.
Yep, because it's already past his time to play cards once he says he doesn't have any to play.
So, as we kind of identified, this kind of snowball effect of Juggernaut just getting onto that back point has really created a scoring challenge and a real uphill battle for Jekara to come back from here. He's looking at a 9-3 deficit on a very high-scoring Crisis setup against a very fast-scoring Criminal Syndicate team that still has Indomitable online and still has a Juggernaut that is somewhat alive, healthy even. But if you can figure out a way to patch him up here real quick, that'd be some pretty heroic work.
Well, I mean, it looks like he just played all according to plan.
Oh, Jekara?
Yep.
Where'd all the power come from then?
He spent it from Shadowlands, Craven, and Taskmaster.
Yep, okay. See what I was saying? Use that Craven to be a power bank for that all according to plan. Came in handy.
Most of it came off Taskmaster.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was expecting that, but the man was up to the task. I mean, 7 hits on 5 dice with no real special shenanigans to it. Well, he did have a reroll, folks, so give him some credit.
Now Jekara's got a real hole to climb out of, though.
From a scoring perspective, absolutely. He's not looking too bad from an attrition perspective.
Yeah, if he can take out Kingpin this round,
that will really shake things up. Yeah. I think you got to start out with Juggernaut, make sure that he does not get patch-up going into him. It's be one of those real classic matchups if you go to see the attrition player make the late comeback into the Criminal Syndicate team. A new classic style with 2 types of Criminal Syndicate of opposing values into each other. All right. So it looks like 4 defense. I anticipate this to be let's try to get rid of Juggernaut time.
Yeah, it looks like he's going with Taskmaster.
Yeah, so
doing probably the mnemonic technique.
Mnemonic technique?
Yep.
So for anybody not familiar, we pulled it up there. That is his spender, where you add dice to physical defense of your opponent. So it turns it into an 8 dice attack. Target character cannot modify or re-roll dice during the attack. Juggernaut still not rolling too much hot defense, and Taskmaster is hot fire. So he is up to the task, folks. I love it.
Looks like he's going to do his best Cap impression now in a shield throw.
Yeah, the poor man shield throw. If you could just generate power from it, like everybody else's shield throw.
Well, granted, most of theirs did get updated. Taskmasters did
not. Well, how could you forget about Taskmaster? That's what I want to know. All right, so we do have the shield throw. Looks like he's going into the Kingpin. Kingpin's got himself a block.
no wild, so no ricochet in the Shadowlands.
Well, thank goodness for that. Taskmaster's
Like it
rampage
anyway,
is over
further in range
for
to
now.
go. I
The
think he did enough
rampage.
work. Took down a Juggernaut, so I mean,
Yeah,
don't get to
damn
see
near
that.
single-handedly. Thor wasn't up to the task, but Taskmaster had actually mastered it.
Looks like he's going with Kingpin now. I'm gonna assume into Thor.
Hail to the king, perhaps. He's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah, it's definitely a healthy
7.
king. He paid 3 power.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, looks like into Craven.
And looks, yep. Got the wild trigger. Hitting for 3. Craven has a reroll.
Craven's blocking nothing.
He's Craven a reroll currently. No? Does he not get a reroll on defense?
He does.
Do I not know my Cravens?
No, he does. Elixir gives you both sides, gives you attack and defense. I'm not sure why he didn't.
Maybe he only has 2 health left, or 1 health left actually, so it wouldn't have mattered.
No, Craven's still up.
Oh, not anymore. He just got thrown into somebody.
Yeah, he won't be after that. Because Jekara does not have. Oh, he does have brace. He could spin brace.
That looks like he just
That's
did.
what. Yep, that's what.
But those hand ninjas still have to roll because they can't spend for a tactics card.
That's true.
And it looks like he's recognized that and done the right thing.
But yeah, they're dead, but I don't think he minds that.
Not with Juggernaut out of commission and him having all those healthy models around there. Especially a healthy Taskmaster who's just running the table. Ooh,
Rob
Cane Laser. Here it comes.
Cane Laser or Kingpin just throws Thor into Craven.
Or you could just walk over there and throw Craven into Thor. Just to make sure he got the job done there. Or Cane Laser and then throw Thor. Looks like he's spending 3. Might be hailing into Thor. That looks to be exactly what's happening.
Thor's blocking 1.
Alright, hitting for 3.
So that's gonna hurt a little bit because now Thor and Craven are staggered.
Well, Craven's just going to be more than likely dazed.
Yeah, most likely.
Almost don't want him to live if he's going to be on 1 health and staggered.
There's a chance.
There's more than a chance. He blocked it. That's funny. Like I was saying, if I'm Jekara, I probably just would prefer that Craven get dazed. Now he's going to use Kingpin's throw to throw Thor into...
Try to finish the job.
My goodness.
I mean, really, he should have done it the other way. Like you said, because Craven's damage was automatic.
I don't think he can reach Craven, but...
I don't know, he might block it all again.
Oh, God, Craven! You gotta be kidding me. Oh, finally. Jekara is being carried through this game by Craven and Taskmaster.
2 unsung heroes.
You love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. I'm sorry. It's hard not to root for guys like that. Now, if we can get Bullseye to pop off onto Thor,
well, I mean, it shouldn't take much because, I mean, it's only at 1, so.
Fine, maybe we get Bullseye to... I know. Go one shot Daredevil then. Go with that.
I don't know. I think you still try to take out Kingpin. I mean, if that's his leadership, get that thing off the table.
Oh, absolutely. With Juggernaut out of the way for this round, uh, you know, well, I think the greater issue at hand here is who do you do that with, right? Thor is staggered, so he's only
Yeah,
going to
but
get the one shot at it.
well, he's still got the power to charge, so he could for Asgard up, get next to that big size 3 thing, hopefully get enough damage on Kingpin to have the power to throw that thing in the King.
Well, it's going to take a little bit of power gen. Kingpin is not exactly easy to generate power off of. But
Sure,
his throw, Strongest Avenger, is also a
but
3 power
it
throw.
looks like that's what he's going for,
And
or
he's
he
still
might be.
contesting that middle point, so that's also another key thing to kind of be able to kind of point out there. So for Asgard into the King of the Pins, Kingpin has woke up with some defense, and Thor has fallen asleep. He did get his
He's,
wild trigger,
he's still getting his 2, he did get his wild at least.
so he's not going to get his power generated.
No, but now he could probably throw Kingpin back towards his home. What is a way in? So.
Yep. Yeah. So he's going to get bumped into that. Oh, yeah, he can just send his fat ass out there into the Shadow Realm.
Or at least the gamma radiation damage.
Yeah. I almost. No, I don't think he would have had the angle to get him onto this pod there. Either way, Kingpin's taken one. We got poor staggered Shadowland Daredevil here, who I'm pretty sure is going to be able to put out Thor. Wonder if he's got enough range to be able to do a coordinated strike to pop in his hand ninjas.
No, I think he's just out of 2.
He's going to check to see if he can do a baton strike to advance on there, or if he just wants to just move and take the point himself.
Yeah, he's straight moving, it looks like.
Yep, that is a medium movement, so he's just going to grab that for his own purposes. Kingpin's leadership is still very much alive, so that's going to score him some points. Now, what you're going to need to see here is so he still has his hand ninjas up. Or excuse me, he doesn't have them up. But if he can move in there, I don't think he's going to make the range for a coordinated strike.
Yeah, it does not look that way.
It's not looking too good.
Just out. Yep.
Yep. Really nice board placement there by Sandwich.
So now do you risk still moving up there, or do you risk and then?
I mean, if you're Jekara, can you afford to give up those 2 points?
Exactly.
You know, I don't think Bullseye can make it. So
I think if Bullseye wanted to, he could double move to get to the research.
well, he has to climb over that the MacGuffin.
I think he could still move around it and still get there just barely.
It's going to be pretty close. Looks like he's opting to attack his way in.
Well, at least he got the wild trigger for the move.
Well, I mean, he does get the little bit of damage through.
Oh, pursuits doesn't have trigger. Wait, what?
Oh.
Okay, there you go.
Easy, Craven.
You're down right now. You can't move.
Craven plays by his own rules. Yeah, he'll just pursue his way onto the point. I'd be interested to see if Bullseye does make that play. Because then, I don't know, you're leaving your back point open too.
How much power? Bulls has two. I think we just see another move up and hit and run from him. That way he'll daze Thor.
And
And then,
at the end of the day, it's still at least 1 point guaranteed. I mean, sure, it's not the.
well, no, if he dazes Thor and we're still Kingpin leadership,
Oh, yeah.
then Toby's will get the center.
Man, you deked me. You're like, he could just run down there and do the researcher. The whole time we're forgetting about Thor sitting there on 1 health. Just kind of a Bullseye special. Of course,
Well, I don't think
Bullseye.
Bullseye can get there now. He's double body blocked. So
Well, Bullseye has the. He does have hit and run online.
that's true.
So it's probably
It'd
what
be
we'll
close.
see here.
I think he could. He still might be able to get there.
Well, he gets the power, and then he can just immediately spend it. So even if he's at 0 at the end of the attack, he'll still generate it. So
he could definitely get to the researcher.
I wonder if that's just a So no, he's spent for the power.
Yeah, so he's going to hit and run probably Thor now.
Well, we'll see if he even measures out for the researcher.
Yeah, he might just be straight back.
Because if he goes straight back, that's a 3-point play right there.
Because now he just ties on researcher if he moves Bullseye up there.
All right, Jekara's got 1 block.
Yeah, Thor goes now.
Bullseye Rex face on Thor. And he's just popping right back. Yep.
Well, if Jekara hadn't put his Daredevil contesting, that'd have been a different story. I don't think his base is just a little too short to be able to try to sort both.
Well, it's like I said, it's a guaranteed 3-point play. I don't see why you go and take all that risk at the other one. I mean, sure, it might get you the 4, but it also might open up the attrition on you to cost you the game. Just keep Bullseye back there and keep him healthy.
Yeah, but now Toby just has to score 4 this next round, and he can steal priority.
Yep. And that's probably what you're going to see. Well, I don't know. Can he afford it? Is the question.
No, he can't.
So he can't afford all according to plan as it currently stands. So that'll put him up to 8. Oh no, you can do it. Yeah, because Daredevil's at 3.
Juggernaut's not Crime Syndicate. So.
Oh, yep. Fantastic point. Fantastic point.
A lot of people wish he was.
Shows up in enough criminal syndicate lists to make you think that he was.
Juggernaut shows up everywhere. What are you talking about?
Not on my list. He's a bum. He doesn't do enough damage.
He's definitely not reliable when it comes to damage. Or even pushing people around.
He's going to go put it onto his most reliable model, Craven.
I wonder who we see go first here with Jekara.
Craven, expert tracker. Let's go. Put it onto jugs and burn them to the ground. Or you could just save your power. No, yeah, expert tracker into Juggernaut. Followed up by a follow me with Taskmaster to take out Jugs. Here's your expert tracker money.
It's going on Daredevil, though. Another hard model to kill.
I'd prefer just to get rid of Juggernaut. But if you can daze Daredevil, that'd be pretty big time for him as well. So here comes the unstoppable Craven. He's rolled in 3 crits. Daredevil is blocking 4 though. He's got, That is nothing to. Yeah, he's going to need to get both of these to turn into a success to even do 1 damage.
Well, there's the one.
Craven with 5 hits is
Doesn't
just
bleed
putting in
too.
work. So now we'll see the spear thrust next. It's got 4 more to go on Shadowlands. I don't think it's happening, but bless his heart.
Well, luckily this is his gainer, so as long as he can get 2 power off of this, then he can follow me.
Yeah. I mean, his builder. And Craven is it's still dominating. That's 2 blocks for Daredevil.
Still got 2 more rerolls too.
And Craven is going to do the 1 reroll. You can't reroll. Oh, he can. Shadowlands.
Yeah,
Yep.
Shadowlands.
Yep.
But right back to a skull and another hit for a while.
I mean, that's some output for Craven though. 6 hits. He has 1
Takes down
rounded
the-
essentially.
Yeah.
Shadowland Daredevil.
Means he gets his 2 power too.
Yep.
I don't know why I only give him 1.
Did he do the spear thrust? What's going on here? No, equal to damage dealt.
Yeah. Oh, he must have already spent some of it. But expert tracker on Juggernaut now.
Oh, so that's what he's opting to do. Maybe he just feels like a Taskmaster is going to also put in heinous amounts of work and gain a bunch of power. He's like, why would I need to go off a reliable follow me when I can just decimate people with Taskmaster later?
The only bad thing about Taskmaster days in Juggernaut last round is now Juggernaut has access to that throw all the time.
I mean, he's still got... All right, Criminal Syndicate. Stop doing Criminal Syndicate things. What is going on here? Skeetering towards the back.
I'm assuming it's Jugs into Taskmaster.
Yep. Looks like he's going for the Spender. There's another bummer roll for Juggernaut.
Yeah, it's going to be 4 damage to Taskmaster there, right? Always counts blanks.
Counts blanks at that range, so 3 no wild triggers for Sandwich. It's a bit of a bummer. Man, if I'm Jugs, you got few options here. None of them all that great, because Avatar is Sidorak costs 3, and Nothing Stops the Juggernaut costs 3. So you can throw that size 3 building into Taskmaster, but I don't think that's going to get it done. I mean, there's a good chance that Taskmaster is going to get a block or 2. Juggernaut spend for that? Oh, so he did Nothing Stops a Juggernaut first. Now he's throwing, the building there. Okay.
Not the A-Team truck.
I pity the Taskmaster. Let's go, buddy.
You got a shield, you can block this.
It's just a truck.
Nope.
All right. So Splatmaster has been taken off the board temporarily into a dazed state of affairs.
Now the problem problem is you got a Juggernaut on your back point.
Yep. Bullseye still sitting on his back point very comfortably. And you have Kingpin who can just walk up and choose a little bit of violence and displace somebody as well.
At least while they're on their healthy side, they only count as one. Or their injured side, they only count.
Yep. I think we've had enough of the Juggernaut show.
Will we see Thor get more than 2 hits?
I mean, there's a possibility. But we can't act like Juggernaut, the other big dog in this match, hasn't been flubbing his dice as well. So.
Oh yeah, Juggernaut always does that for me, but
I
Thor,
think most people would argue that Thor does the same.
I want Thor to be so good, but every time I use him, he rolls like Jakara's been rolling with him.
Yeah.
He just doesn't get any work done.
So what is that? Pursuit attack?
No, I think he did Thor after. Well, 4 better.
Hey, got his wild. He's actually going to get damage through. All right. Oh, hey, look at that.
Guys, there we go.
Thor. All right.
So 4, maybe 3 damage to Juggernaut. Yep, down to 3. He nice punched it. So yeah, throw that Juggernaut away so he's not scoring those points for him.
Yeah, you go send him out in the Gamma Zone. Didn't he place Expert Tracker onto Juggernaut?
Yeah, he did. He didn't roll his extra dice.
Yeah, didn't roll his extra dice. Oh, that's too bad. Look at all the dividends that old Craven's paying. Gotta take advantage of them.
Alright, we finally see.
And off goes Juggernaut.
Yeah, I don't think he wastes an attack.
I don't think you want to even power him up because that can just allow him to guaranteed put his throw online. Yeah.
Well, he chose violence. So.
Been a lot of that going on this game. And I am not disappointed in it. I'm trying to look at this as the mindset of you know, a more balanced player sometimes, but he probably does like where he's at from an attrition standpoint, so
yeah,
you might as well get going after it.
4 hits for Thor, it's not, but Kingpin's blocking 2.
And reducing, so yeah. And he's still going to get his power
He'll
refunded.
get shocked.
Yeah, but I don't know, if I'm Kingpin, I might as well just eat this damage. Just get my throw online.
Yeah, I still think the better play might have been to move Thor onto the researcher.
Yep.
Because if he doesn't move somebody else on the researcher, now's where Bullseye can come.
Well, I mean, he's got Craven.
Yeah, but Bullseye's healthy. He's going to count as 2 versus Craven's 1.
If you move that researcher 2 from where it's at right now, is that going to get it within the 1 needed on the back point?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But it looks like, well, you know, if Craven not Craven, but if Kingpin, no, he won't count. That's right. I mean, obviously, I think we're going to see Kingpin go last here.
Yeah, but either Kingpin's going to move to the middle, or he's going to take Bullseye's spot back here at the back point. Because Kingpin does not have the speed to get to the...
Spoke too soon. So Kingpin did eat the damage, as was kind of anticipated. I don't know if I like him going up here in the center of things, because now he can potentially be double tapped by Shadowlands Daredevil. Um,
Yeah, but who doesn't want to see a Daredevil and Kingpin fight?
um, Probably Kingpin right now, if I'm going to be honest with you. It's just I look. This is one of those things where it's like you can see just the difference in the mindsets of these two players, right? You have the Daredevil team coming out there choosing violence at every opportunity, and the Kingpin team coming out there and choosing violence when they have to. Uh, and right now you're just seeing a pure objective based move that was a little bit, in my opinion, maybe tunnel visiony, because
Yeah, but now he's going to throw Daredevil away, so now Daredevil's not going to double tap him.
I
He
think he's still going to
might.
be within range of that baton strike and then a coordinated strike off of it potentially.
That'll be close. I think it'd probably be safer to. I think the safer bet is just move him back in, beat him, and then attack Dirt or Kingpin. Get his ninjas out there to help body block
Well, he's got
Bullseye.
Craven, who's injured. Yeah, okay. I keep forgetting that Craven's been damaged at all. She's been such a superstar this game. It's been hard for me to fathom. Come on, leave the token around. It's fine.
Just lock the token in place. At least till that little trash can's gone or whatever it is.
It looks, like a vent. I don't think there are trash cans up on rooftops.
Well, I
Although,
don't think there's usually construction buildings on top of rooftops either.
well, unless they're doing construction, but then again, there's like cars up here and stuff too. So that is also kind of throwing away my point of sense.
It looks like some barrels and some tires. Just the tires are in color.
All right, coordinated strike time into Kingpin. Yeah, I'm gonna get a re-roll from old Sierra Lima Delta Delta.
3. So potentially just 1 coming at Kingpin. Yep, just takes 1.
And here's where the hand ninjas come in and change the state of the game. Because Shadowland is still healthy. And that counts as 2 healthy people contesting. So whatever plan you had there with Bullseye about coming up there and getting into that thing just got eliminated.
Well, they're not getting anything through, likely.
Nope.
So there's nobody for Bullseye to come plink dead. But does he take the risk and just come capture the 2 middle points?
He can get the gamma.
Yeah, the two points on the game.
Or he could go with your recommendation, get to the back point. Is that what you're saying he can maybe get to? I don't think
No,
he
I
gets
don't
there.
think he gets to the back. If that size 3 wasn't away, he probably could get.
But you take these 2 points now, and then overload that back point later. Or is
Looks
he
like
just going to
he's
take his hit? Well, you can
He
still hit
hates
and
those
run.
He hates those ninjas.
It doesn't accomplish anything by killing him at this point, but he's not going to get it done. Blank's eye has blanks out into the ninjas. Um, Go ahead and resolve your crit. Come on, ninjas.
He doesn't need to. He already blocked it all because Bullseye rolled 3 blanks in a skull.
Resolve that crit, ninjas. Show them what's up. It's actually a dominance roll. You stare him in the eyes and resolve your crit. Oh, you already blocked it. I don't care. And then roll it anyhow.
That is one thing that gets people salty more than anything is watching grunts live through attacks.
Ben, I'm actually pretty stoked for the Hydra ones. They actually appear like they might have some semblance of survivability.
Well, the only reason I say that is because I've played a couple of tournament games in the Merzane myself and HPP Will, and like every time I've played my grunts into them, they like never die for some reason.
You love to see it. Oh, he's going to move it back toward himself, huh? I know. Right, so how's Jekara? Oh, that's right, because Kingpin got the center gamma. Man, he could have ended the game if those hand ninjas didn't pop out there. That's interesting. So that was the thought, is that he could have got those hand ninjas. Well, I don't know about end the game, but yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, he only needed 4.
Well, he would have stopped Jekara from scoring 2 at the cost of him losing a point. So here we are going into round 5. I don't see a world where Jekara is going to be able to get his way out of this one.
No, now Toby's spinning for
all according to plan. Yeah. Yeah, I just.
Did Jekara not score anything last round? Because he should have scored the researcher, right?
Yeah, so he should have scored the researcher. I don't know that he gave himself the points for it, but
yeah, I don't think he moved up.
I don't think it's going to matter. Just too much of a deficit. Not quite hot enough dice into a very admittedly sturdy team. I mean, the only guy out there that doesn't have stellar defensive abilities is Bullseye, and, well, we've all seen the effects of what Bullseye has been doing this game, and I would say it's pretty much exactly what you'd want out of a 2-threat, so.
Yeah, I mean, getting you points all game, days stored, I mean, can't ask much more.
It's really Bullseye's thing. He's just so wildly efficient. So we got Juggernaut coming in.
Plow through everybody right here.
See if he can actually get an attack worth a damn through on somebody. That would be exciting, I'll tell you what.
He usually gets about 1 a game, maybe.
Yeah.
For me. No, he's just double moving. Or maybe the first one was a nothing stops.
Yep. Well, he spent a bunch of power. He's down to nothing right now, almost.
There we go with jugs.
There's
3 crits.
Teach me how to juggy.
Are you looking at 5? 6?
Yep, that's 6.
Into our boy Craven.
Oh no! Craven's only blocking 1. He's gonna live, but not very well. That's gonna be 5 into Craven.
Nope.
Oh, that's 5 into Craven. He's gone. Ick. All hope is lost. Craven is off the board. That's really too bad because this is a really good showing out of Craven.
Yeah, he did a lot of work.
I mean, for all the reasons that I really like the guy, again, we were talking about him prior to the game, and I said, man, Craven's one of those dudes that I've given a lot of looks at. And I like his toolkit. The problem is
he's not easy to use.
He's not extremely easy to use, and he doesn't do a good job of keeping himself alive sometimes.
No, I mean, he's only got 3 for defenses. I mean, yeah, he's got to reroll a bit.
And it's
It's
the
not going to stay.
ranges that he wants to operate at that can get him into a little bit of trouble with some of these big boys out there. I just wish he had a little bit more range in his attacks, but his powers are so cool. Was talking to a really good player, and he was talking about how down in Oceania, he had played into a list of a guy that was running a Craven Corner the Beast, like Spider Foes list with like Cassandra Nova and Space Maw. There's some sort of craziness going on in it, so he would use Corner the Beast and then just advance people around and just like splashing damage onto him the whole time. All right. Daredevil is going to have a go here and see what he can try to salvage. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not much of a grunt guy, but don't the ninjas have to go first?
That is true. Grunts always have to go before their parents. Interesting thing is, if you have like Daredevil and Elektra out, whichever one of those ones you go with, the grunt still has to go first.
Yeah. Even more reason why Elektra and Shadowland Daredevil are bad for each other. The toxic relationship. All right. So is that the grunts now? Yep. So that is the grunts. They're just gonna mash in some attacks and see what happens. Just mashing it. No blocks. The grunts are gonna get some damage through.
So I guess
Ooh.
part of that power we missed on Juggernaut was patching up Kingpin a little bit.
All for naught, because here come the grunts.
Hey, they're great when you give a book to them too. They'll really wreck face it.
Ah, man, I think the Fury guys with Mordo behind them, that's the way to go. That's true grunt savagery right there.
I played a lot more Fury than I have Shadowlands myself.
You put a Mordo back there with your Convocation squad, run some Fury grunts out there, and now you got guys with 6 dice attacks at 3 range.
Yep. That you don't mind dying to get your books back on.
Correct. Yeah, that was a play that I had learned about from Suzumi Kazo, who I'd covered in a game just the other week, actually. He was victorious against my sparring partner with his Convocation squad.
Yeah, HP P. Will from House Party, he's running that same thing, but he's using Shadowlands rather than Nick Fury.
I tried to convince him about the Fury Grunts thing, but he's been on the Shadowlands kick for a minute.
Yeah, but you can also just make the Shadowlands and just disappear themselves.
Sure. So. If they're allowed to live to the point of being able to do it, which they seldom are. Unless you're playing something like Hammers. All right. So we got Jekara going back into, looks like Kingpin. Kingpin has rolled in 3 crits. So that is not going to do a thing. Is that potentially Demon's Devastation? Nah, I don't think so.
I don't know which one, but why did Kingpin not roll his crits?
I learned the other day that it is a must. You must roll in your crits. It's not a may. I was playing against an opponent and had a Ghost Rider out, and he opted not to attack Ghost Rider and rolled 3 crits in his 4 dice attack right off the rip.
Nice.
Gonna resolve them crits for me, buddy.
Yeah, roll some more so I can wicked judgment.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's one thing I have looked into. This of like the skulls counting for Mal, do those count as Wicked Woodsman?
They do because they
Count as
it's not
crits?
a they just count as crits, so it's not even a change dice situation. So they if he pays for it and you have them out there, they 100% count as crits.
That's good to know.
Yeah, my Ronin Ghost Rider into Malekith team is something I'm looking forward to at some point. We have Kingpin advancing along. Um, Looks like he's just going to walk up, take the other most devastating player on the board, throw him away.
Yeah. Get out of here, Taskmaster. You've done enough damage.
Yeah, traumatize my Juggernaut. Yeah, and he's just going to close the game out with that. I mean, the only thing you really need right now is just for a Bullseye to exist. And it's pretty much good to go.
I mean, we could see Taskmaster pop up here, just one-shot Juggernaut.
It's not going to do any good. What's he going to do against Bullseye back there? He just needs 1 point. As much as I'd like to see violence and stuff dying, the other side of things is got to call it like you see it. And unfortunately, our more violent compadre in this one is just falling a bit short. I think some of the Thor rules set him back a little bit. I don't think his Shadowlands accomplished too much for him either. Taskmaster
Still think
had put
not
in
throwing
work.
Juggernaut that very first time is really what put him whole.
Yep.
I mean, at least make him spin the Indomitable, which he didn't spin till later.
Yeah, on the flip side of it was a close call, and it's just one of those things. And so, yeah, you got Thor again. That's 7 misses. Or what was that? What attack was that? Taskmaster. Ah, okay. He went in there and got to that corner. What's going on here? That is a lot of dice. 11 dice.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the 11 came from. I think he used a Cruel 2, which...
Okay. Yeah.
Because it'd be 8 plus 3. Yeah, that'd be 11 on his technique.
Can he even use that?
You look it up.
Yeah, I thought it was an affiliated card, and he's a rogue agent, so you don't... Oh, he is affiliated to Criminal
Yeah,
Syndicate.
he is. Yeah, he's affiliated criminal.
Yeah, that's right.
And shield.
Because he has a shield.
No, because actually in comics lore, he did train some of shield for a while.
So yeah, with this game winding down, I guess I think one of the questions that we probably need to ask these gentlemen is what round was it that he opted not to throw Juggernaut? Do you remember? Was that 3?
No, it was earlier. It was either 1 or 2.
Okay.
It was
definitely 2, I think. Yeah. And that was he had hit 4 Asgard into him, and
yeah,
just
so he moved Thor up to the center.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was turn 2. It had to be turn 2. Yeah, but Thor, even if you do that, still gotta get Shadowlands off the point. But then Bullseye still beat you.
Do you have any questions for Sandwich? Because I got the one there for Jekara about the not opting for the Thor throw.
I'll have to think about that for a second. I mean, Toby's played pretty smart. I mean, he took his early lead and wrote that. I mean, I think bringing Kingpin's leadership was a better call. Not trying to go attrition.
Yeah, they're very good on Gamma. Um, and at this low of a threat level, he probably felt that he had enough. Uh, Probably felt that he had enough staying power to accomplish what he wanted to here. Um, and I can see why Warpath is here.
Yeah, that was a nice include. I hadn't seen that
in
card
the in
like
Gamma.
forever.
Yeah. I guess we could ask him. Well, he didn't bring out his Malekith.
I mean, like you said, there were biggest thing is you think he had enough staying power, which is probably true. I mean,
Yeah.
Jugs is usually pretty hard to take down with anybody. Kingpin's pretty tanky. Shadowlands Daredevil's pretty tanky. I mean, Bullseye's his weakest thing, and he's hid behind his conduit the whole time.
And then it's always rosters with me. I don't know.
Malekith would have been fun, but I mean, I think Toby still brought up his correct quad for it.
I wonder what the thought was with Taskmaster then over, say, who did he have? Hood or Winter Soldier. I feel like Winter Soldier is probably the better bet there, especially with Shadowland Daredevil.
Yeah, because he coming in hopping around.
And have a permanent backpoint sitter that can actually generate power.
But maybe he was thinking more tanky too, because Taskmaster is normally pretty hard to take down. Because attack twice into him, he gets more dice.
Yeah, that's why you just attack him once.
Yeah, I mean, really, like, why Craven and why Taskmaster? I mean, like I said,
Craven, I can kind of get.
Mysterio choice in this matchup to help move people off points.
I don't think he's getting enough damage through reliably on what his opponent's potentially bringing. I mean, I think basically once round 2 rolls in, Mysterio's just going to get freaking bullied off the board.
I mean, granted, he would be able to move Juggernaut with that stuff. But...
Well, and he'd still have to get damage through on Kingpin with that damage reduction.
Yep.
So I completely get Sandwich's roster, but yeah. What's he pointing at here?
Actually,
I think these
why
guys...
not Loki instead of Daredevil?
Oh yeah. Well, here, let's go join them over in chat. They're kind of doing some talking in there. I'll give them another minute or so. I've kind of sent some of these questions over to you if you kind of notice them. I'll lead off with the Thor opting not to throw, and if there's anything you want to add into there, just go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest turning point myself.
Yeah. I don't necessarily blame him though, but yeah, it should be interesting. So I'm gonna go hop in.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Spend that power. I say at least make him spend that Indomitable card at the power. Yeah, granted he had the power to do it, but.
Well, I was just saying, like the throwing angle, because you had the Taskmaster right there. It wasn't that good of a throwing angle, but yeah, because you could have risked throwing him onto the Gamma point if he tried to be extra safe to clear Taskmaster. So.
Yeah, but he got there anyways. All right, yeah, we'll meet him over.
All right, yep, see you over there.
I just not see Winter Soldier here.
Yeah, well, I figure Winter Soldier is bad into Malekith because he can't reroll.
Yeah.
So then he's just a standard guy. You know what I mean? He can't really pop off without the Daredevil reroll the way you want him to in this list.
No, really, really.
And Hood also not really what you want into Malekith because same thing, only 4 dice rerolls. And I'd rather into Malekith in particular. I'd rather throw 8 dice with Taskmaster counting blanks for physical and energy.
Yeah.
Than have Hood who heals, but the chance of him healing somebody after Malekith gets into him is slim. So it feels
Indeed.
like it's of a character. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad I was able to trick you into this.
I still think I still think this is actually like the first real game. I've done house games and with my buddies with Taskmaster. He
Yeah.
work even in this one because of
Yeah.
demonic technique. He just kind of went up to Juggernaut and slapped him a little bit.
Yeah, he did. Like honestly, he went well. I liked him a lot. Honestly, Craven scared the hell out of me.
Craven is one of those characters who is secretly a boss.
I know my friends always tell me that, but it's that kind of character that when you play him, it doesn't work like when the other one plays him.
Yeah, that's my Omega Red. Like I have Omega Red in my list, and every time I go into him, like I'll throw 5 dice and roll 5 skulls. It's like ugh.
Yeah,
Hey
I
guys,
get it.
how's it going?
Hey,
Barncat
good yourself.
and One Absolute here. Congratulations on the win. Sorry for your loss, Mr. Jekara.
Yeah, great game, guys.
It happens, man. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean it was a really interesting game. Like once we saw that Crisis has kind of drop and come out the way they did, obviously there were a lot of directions that this thing could go. With the big bad in the room being known as Malekith, being what he is. I think a lot of people probably expect to see him, but and you guys have kind of talked about that,
Yeah.
and so that was kind of one of the questions that I had. But since you guys had already discussed that a little bit, I think we'll just touch on that first. And essentially was, is the reason that you laid off of Malekith Sandwich, is the reason that you laid off of him because you take a look at the list that you have Kingpin's leadership to fall back on. It's a good Gamma team, but you put all this beef out there, and you're probably feeling pretty good about yourself as far as being able to hold up and at least, if nothing else, establish a pretty good lead through 4 rounds. Is that kind of the thought process as far as laying off of Malekith?
Well, exactly, because like with Malekith, I had to go probably 3 wide.
Mm-hmm.
And with the researcher, if I misplay one turn or I dice doesn't go my way one turn, and the researcher start going my way or like my back point way,
Mm-hmm.
the game is a slippery slope, So I was feeling not confident on 1 or 2 spikes changing the game completely. So I went with consistency with the 2 characters with DR. Daredevil, all beefy boys,
Yep.
and a little bullseye on the back point because he's the best.
Yeah, behind the MacGuffin, just doing bullseye
Yeah.
things, failing horribly to try to kill ninjas regularly. Yeah, it was good stuff.
It's painful.
I mean, come on. If he's gonna sit back there, he can accomplish not doing that. Is for all I was caring. But I did have a question for Jekara. And One and I had kind of considered this to be one of the pivotal moments of the match, actually. And I think it happened during round 2, I want to say. Juggernaut had kind of gotten, pretty far along the way there. He'd already had his activation. You activated your Thor, hit him with the 4 Asgard, got your triggers, and then elected not to throw him.
Juggernaut?
Yeah. It looked like you had a throw going into Juggernaut, and that you didn't throw him. Would have been like, I want to say, like, from your board perspective, kind of near that Quinjet area.
Like in here?
Yeah, right there.
He was pretty nestled up really close to Taskmaster. And I don't think that he burnt his Indomitable until later in the game. Is that correct, Sandwich?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just didn't realize I had a throw on the trigger.
Okay.
definitely would have thrown him into the Quinjet to get him away, because it's
So-
at least forcing an action or power move.
Well,
I know it's not called power move, but
in your defense, when we were looking at that, I was even saying like, boy, I don't know if I want to throw him because you had him right next to a Taskmaster, and they were basically touching each other. And then if you were to throw him into this building here that's near your board edge, you might have put him on the gamma point if you tried to make the throw angle safe. You know what?
I think that's exactly what it was because
Okay.
because if I remember right, he was here.
Yep.
And then he moved here. And then
so April got there anyway.
Yeah, so it wouldn't have. I don't think it would have changed anything. And I knew Taskmaster could probably do. I think at that point he had 1 damage left on Juggernaut. And if I had thrown him into anything, it wouldn't have killed him, and he would have been on the point.
Yeah, it looked like it would have been really close if you tried
big
to
close.
avoid Taskmaster. So
Yeah, I think what I forgot was that the MacGuffin was non-interactable. So my original intention was to move up and chuck it into Bullseye, and then have free reign to with nothing in the way. And then I realized, oh crap, that's non-interactable.
yeah, non-interactive terrain feature. So
Yeah.
we had noticed that. I don't think I actually even picked up on it until you actually just mentioned that. So
Yeah, I didn't recognize that either.
I even mentioned it at the start of the game before we even started to it.
oh, okay.
And if I had been thinking properly, I would have put it over here.
hmm
I
That way
moved
you
the
can't just have Bullseye doing what he's doing all game.
Yeah, because then I'm throwing a size 4 trailer into Bullseye, and it's much less likely that he survives. I do.
Terrain was annoying.
Yeah, I got lucky a couple times, like when I staggered his Daredevil and chucked him out, and then got Kingpin over here.
Yeah.
And then I did make another mistake when early on into the round when I had played Craven. I had done extra damage onto Daredevil, and then I had paid for it onto Juggernaut. And so when Thor hit him, I didn't roll that extra die in.
Yep.
And then if I had realized that too, I also, instead of throwing the hammer into Kingpin, I would have chucked it in the Juggernaut.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think we had noticed that you were missing a dice on one of his 4 Asgards. Into Juggernaut.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah, the attack on Juggernaut was missing a die. Yeah.
Yeah, and I even said it during my second attack, and I was like, "Well, too late now. Got to learn how to keep track of that board state." You know what I mean?
Well, the really important thing, more often than not, when it comes with these things, is that the game was fairly clean, right? So it didn't look to be any rule violations, that I'm aware of. You guys played a clean game. If there's some minor, hiccups or tactical choices that may appear to be a misplay, sometimes they are like a minor misplay, like I forgot to add a dice. But for the most part, like as long as games are clean, that's really what you're looking for. You're not looking to have some like, oh, you can't place off of that model because they're KO'd or something like that, and they just totally moved to range 3, right?
Yeah.
So
plus, it was a good game. Like I think both
was
Toby and
fun.
myself had a good attitude the whole time. I never felt like he was tilting, and I don't think I was ever like tilting towards him. You know what I mean? Even though sometimes some of those dice were like on both sides were real rough, and I could see,
Yeah.
well, both of your guys' 5-point models were just a little bit
Made it roll hard.
underwhelming, and then when you've got Hot Fire Craven just out there running the board, right? It could be a little bit intimidating unless you're that Criminal Syndicate player. And you have these Kingpin reps, and you're just, well, as long as they're not completely dead, I guess I'm all right with it, right? So
that's for sure. But yeah, having 2 character days that early really scared me there in that game, because like having my 2 most tanky character not counting as double and counting less than his character makes my game a little harder. I'm happy I was able to do those surgical dazes at the good time in the game, so I was able to keep up even though my character would not count double. That was really what saved me there.
Yeah,
Jakara, I think your points should be at 8 as well, not 6. I think you forgot to move up that one time.
Oh, okay.
Recently.
Yeah,
Oh, that's possible. I didn't realize it.
I
I
didn't
think it's
either.
when Toby went up to 15 and you scored 2 that round and moved the researcher back towards his area. You didn't move
In,
up your points.
indeed, indeed.
That makes sense. Yeah. Um, yeah, man, that was a hell of a game. I had a blast.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
it was
super
a fun
fun,
game to
man.
watch. It's a fun game to watch.
So
Yeah, it went. It felt like until I would say round 5, I was really unclear on what would happen. Like from you know, it could have gone both ways, and that's the best kind of games.
oh yeah, like if this is one of those games where you don't play for points and you play to win, I feel like I have the advantage at this point. But it's not that kind of game. Like if we had been able to go one more round, this middle point would have been bloody as heck.
Ugly, yeah, ugly.
That's the fun stuff, though, right? Like it's the I was almost to that point, and I really enjoyed that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, man.
you were a hell of an opponent, brother. So I appreciate the great game.
Hey, thanks to you, man, and I hope we get to play again soon.
Oh yeah, I'd love it. All right, brother. Hope everyone had fun, and I hope you guys have a good night.
yeah. Cheers, man.
See you soon.
Thanks a lot, guys. Again, congratulations, Sandwich. Thank you for kind of helping reach out to me as always, Jekara. Feel free to do so moving forward and everything. Really want to thank One Absolute Matt for joining me on this one. It was his first time
thanks
giving
for
her a
having
go. I think we, got through this thing pretty all right. Hopefully, we can get you back on here in the future. I'd try to rotate out guests and everything like that as much as I can.
Sure.
And yeah, just great game to be able to watch. I just love these kind of knife fighty type things with the opposing play styles. So really cool stuff.
Oh yeah, it was fun. I hope everyone had a blast. So, but anyway, it's late, so I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, me too. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, good to
Bye,
see you
everybody.
guys.
Bye bye.
All right, see ya.
Yeah.
All right, hey, One Absolute, I'm going to give you a call direct and give you any closing thoughts you might have on this one.
Yeah.
All right, well, welcome back, man. Any final thoughts on anything?
I mean, it was a really fun game. I'm glad to see that some underutilized characters got some love and actually showed why that they should make this some table time with some lists.
I'm still not 100% on the Taskmaster thing, but if
I mean,
we kind of caught it at the beginning of when they were discussing the post match, and I
Yeah.
think he was expecting a Malekith.
Oh yeah, it sounded like he was 100% straight up.
And there has been a lot of rumor going around that that Taskmaster's got some game into him. I'd have to kind of double check and take a look at Taskmaster's card again. But if nothing else, double tapping into Taskmaster, you're not going to have a good time. And you can at least avoid some of that Pearson stuff with blanking those wilds. So
Yeah, overall, it was a good game. I don't think they really made much mistakes. Like I said, the biggest glaring thing for me was that not electing not to throw Juggernaut that one time.
yeah, I mean, it sounds like he'd kind of had waved it off in his mind just due to maybe not liking the angles. So and I can get that, totally can. But I don't even. Yeah, it was close. I'm gonna reserve judgment, but I think that was a pretty big point
I
of the
mean,
match.
it was a hard call, but I mean, I think you still have to at least make them make that decision.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that could have been the thing that really swung the game for sure. So either way, it was cool to see the opposing sides of Shadowlands and Kingpin go out there on two crises that both of those leaders are pretty good at. So
Yeah, you have to stay around them. You can't get
Yeah.
too far from them.
Yep, exactly. So you're going to have contesting, and you're going to be able to see both their strengths really shine. And The non-dice reliant one ended up winning out, and I think my biggest criticism of Shadowlands leadership, personally, is that your opponent is the one dictating where and how you're getting your leadership benefit. And if you're only getting models presented to you that are like a Kingpin or a Juggernaut to attack into all the time, you can take your reroll and throw it out the window because it's going to get canceled out. Whereas, say, in like a pure knife fight with, like, say, a Guardians team here, I'm going to get my rerolls into basically anybody I want regardless of who you put out there, right? So, and on the flip side of the Shadowlands argument, I would also say that, like, a Miles leadership is better because you're taking the initiative to benefit your leadership with the models that you want. Because it's the opposite side of it. So either way, Criminal Syndicate is still having a lot of success through the first half of the season.
Do you know which bracket this was in? That one I didn't know.
This was East.
East, yeah. Well, East has the highest percentage of Criminal Syndicate players, at least at the beginning of the season. I'm not sure the stats after the mid roster swap, but East Syndicate was the highest played faction there. So somehow I've notched it throughout the 4 weeks.
Yeah, and I was taking a look at the the stats up to this point of the season, at least from the midpoint, and they have a good win percentage. They're right up there, in the mid 50s. It looks like. So, I've been surprised to see Guardians doing as well as they have. Surprised to see Web Warriors not doing as well as they have. They've been having a real rough go of things, but. I think it's a lot more telling when you kind of get into these final weeks with some of the and one or the and o matchups. Because then you'll really kind of start seeing some of these allegedly high level affiliations playing into each other, and you can really kind of see them start to kind of separate. And I anticipate we might see a similar thing at a Criminal Syndicate. In these kind of latter rounds, and sort of like what we did in last season's cuts. So, but I also anticipate that my precious Guardians are going to be knocked down a few pegs too, because we got a very bad record into Brotherhood and Criminal Syndicate, and what was the other one that's been pretty prevalent this season? Convocation. So,
well, I just switched back to Guardians at the midpoint myself, so hopefully I can help bring those numbers up.
Yeah, I actually, if you don't count mirrors, might be contributing to either a win or a loss for Guardians this weekend. So, got my first ever mirror matchup.
I won with them this week. So,
what'd you play against?
X-Men.
Okay, yeah. I've always struggled with that matchup personally. X-Men Gold, but I played a lot of really good X-Men players pretty frequently, so maybe that's also the problem. So
we played Gamma and we played Trolls, and
yeah, you don't hate that if you're Guardians.
I didn't have Prio, so I chose 15. So I brought Star-Lord, Rocket Groot, and Malekith, and they Days Domino first round after she found the scroll. Then they just proceeded to take out everybody else basically the rest of the game. So
yeah, I would imagine Malekith with some rerolls is probably not a good time. What little dice?
I don't think he expected me to bring Malekith at the low threat level.
Yeah, it depends. But if you're not having to play something like Sword, I don't see any reason in having to make sure you're as wide or wider than your opponent. That might be the real strength of Guardians moving forward, is the ability to float in a couple of like higher threat models. But we'll see.
I mean, that's what Pat does. That's what he did last season. So,
that's what he's doing right now with old
his game this week.
Space and reality Thanos.
Yeah, with Star-Lord and Gamora. So
Morgan last year had 4 Guardians in his list total. A Hulk and Juggernaut and all those folks. So just really really, really leveraging that leadership to stay at least somewhat wide and get the higher threat models out there. But good times overall. Well, just want to thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It was a blast.
I gotta get this thing ported over to YouTube. So if anybody gets to this point and feels like giving me some more advice on how to un-F myself and get into the correct platform usage, that would be cool too. But yeah, cheers as always. Thank you to anybody that takes a look at this now or in the future. All right. Have a good night, y'all.
All right, you too.